Welcome everybody to my channel. You guys ready to Hulk out and talk some Captain America movies?
Let's go.
Yes, awesome. Well, just to remind the audience, members can comment live tonight. Of course, everybody can still watch and enjoy the discussion, but if you do want to put a live comment, definitely consider some memberships. There's some cheap ones out there, like $5 ones. I mean, it's less than a cup of coffee to become a mega member, and you get all the awesome perks. Maybe some giveaways tonight. What do you guys think? Should I be giving away Blu-rays, 4Ks, some good stuff?
I don't see why not.
All right. We'll see. We'll see how
gold.
many. We'll see how many members we get in here tonight. Maybe if you're the only member that signs up tonight, then you automatically win. So
Hey, there you go.
not a bad deal. Not a bad deal right there. But yeah, I'm so excited to talk these Captain America movies. We just got done with the fourth one. I can't believe it's already been 4 Captain America movies. But we're going to go through the first 3 Captain America movies just to kind of prep up to the fourth one. And then the majority of the discussion will be a post-game show for the fourth movie. We won't go into heavy spoilers. There might be some light spoilers when we get there, but we'll warn everybody. But I don't even think that movie's very spoilery anyway. If you've seen the trailers, you've seen most of it. But let's start on a positive note. We are going to start with Captain America, the First Avenger. I know somebody had this ranked pretty high in their group ranking. Totally don't remember who it was, but Huck, you take it away.
Okay. I don't know. Let's go with that. All right. Look, let's get started here, okay? Captain America First Avenger, I think, is an outstanding movie. I had the good fortune of being able to watch all 3 of these again within the last week. So they're all like primed and fresh. I don't know about you guys, but you know, you got to do it. You got to see how part 4 stacks up against these. And look, the director, Joe Johnston, just does not get enough love. I mean, the guy did like Jurassic Park 3, and I thought that kicked ass. Rocketeer, you know, this movie. Like, he really...
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Right? I mean, he turns out good stuff, and people just don't talk about him enough. And I think he set that tone and helped select Chris Evans playing the character and setting that tone for Captain America. So I think out of the gate, man, that is such a well-made movie. And Red Skull is the villain? Come on. We should have seen him more than once. I love that movie.
How about you, Nate?
Yeah. First of all, I want to piggyback on the Joe Johnston love, because that guy's made like at least 7 movies that I like a lot. Jumanji is like Joe Johnston. The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro. Most people don't. I like it. But he does well with the... I think the Rocketeer had to be what they looked at because it's set in World War II, and he does so well with the old, like, kind of that period. So I know Mike saw the rankings. I didn't rank this as high, but I really like it. Right. I just think it's a strong franchise, so it was tough. But I think the movie's really good. I think the action scenes are really good. Chris Evans owns in that movie. Haley Atwell owns in that movie.
Oh, Haley's so good.
Yeah, and Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. I can't believe that that's the only movie. I know he appears later, but it's not Hugo Weaving. But I can't believe that they used him on the first one and then never again. Just never. Criminally underused villain. But yeah, I think the movie's awesome.
Yeah, he's one of the best villains Marvel has turned out.
Yeah.
I can confirm this movie made Nate's top 5 for sure. 100%.
All right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Top 5. So 4.
It's not 4.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, that was a big. Chris Evans, basically, he was kind of like a teen. It was not another teen movie. He was in that, and then this is like really his big starring role. That kind of his introduction to Marvel, and I thought he was great in the First Avengers. You know, Stanley Tucci's in that movie. Neil McDonough, Sebastian Stan's in it again. You know. Yeah, the Tommy Lee Jones is in the movie, and that one I actually didn't rank that one as high as the others, because I think there's 2 ahead of it. I think were huge movies, but I did like that one a lot, and I don't know if we're revealing our rankings right now, or we're going to talk about it
not
later.
yet. We'll tease them a little bit, and we'll save the group ranking reveal for that.
Yeah.
That way, they watch through the whole stream, right?
Yeah. Doesn't Tommy Lee Jones eat a steak with milk in this movie? He has like a glass of milk and a steak.
Glass of milk?
Yeah, it's weird.
Look, in the grenade scene, when he chucks the grenade down to find out who's got the moxie and Evans dives on it. Oh, man, come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man, I love this one for sure. That's just the sound of love right there going off. I mean, the first Avenger, oh my gosh, talk about a great origin story for a Marvel movie. This might be my favorite origin story for any solo Marvel character, at least in the MCU. I mean, what they were able to do with at least the first 2/3 of the movie, the connection with the character, you understand why this Chris Evans wants to be a part and, you know, serve his country and never give up and all that stuff and contributing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just hitting me with the feels right here. Once again, another just amazing sound of awesomeness for this first Avenger movie.
Wow.
But yeah,
Covered up.
I know, right? Of course, of course. But yeah, this movie is fantastic. I really like this one quite a bit. It does lose me in the third act a little bit. I don't know why. Always in that last third act, it gets a little too fantasy-like and so much stuff going on screen, and I'm like, But the
That's
beginning
when it gets its most comic booky. Is in the third act.
Yeah, I know. And then like we were
like
in a
blue lasers and
it was too much.
stuff like that. Yeah.
It was a change in tone for the movie, and that's what threw me off. It always throws me off for some reason. That's when I start turning out. But the origin story is so good. Yes. All right, and then we got to have, of course, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Ooh, I know Nate wants to talk about that one.
Oh, let me tell you something. This one right here, this is the one. Captain America: Winter Soldier, because as much as I love the first Avenger, once we get Cap into modern times, for me, this is peak. Civil War, great, but it's pretty much an Avengers movie. Yeah. This one, while it has other characters, because Black Widow's in it, well, really just her as far as like heroes. You get Nick Fury, okay, but he doesn't, you know, he's just like a boss guy. And then Winter Soldier's back in a villainous role, and I'm a sucker for a good friend turned enemy. I love it. In almost every you do that in a movie, I automatically like it a little bit more. So. And just the way they fight in this movie, like the action scenes are plussed. The hand-to-hand stuff is awesome. He kicks like 18 guys right in the chest and they go flying. I love it every single time. And then you got GSP, like George St. Pierre in the beginning fighting him. I mean, just and Scarlett Johansson's in it. So that's also an automatic plus. And Robert Redford. I mean, this one has it all for me. I absolutely love it.
How about you, Steve?
Yeah, so Civil War is really great. They kind of returned to that idea in the new movie as far as I don't want to spoil it necessarily, but how they control people. It kind of returns to that and that whole what they do with Sebastian Stan's character. He's kind of this evil character, and he's kind of being manipulated in the movie. And Bucky Captain America hadn't seen him in so many years, and he sees him again. His old friend. He finds out that he's still alive, and then he finds out he's not really the same person that he was before. It's been a while since I've seen it, but for a long time, Civil War, that one, Winter Soldier, I liked it a lot, and then Civil War, like we said, that's kind of a Avengers kind of movie. But as far as the Captain American movies, it's just the pure ones. That's probably the best out of those. But to me, it's hard to kind of compete with the next one because it is kind of cheating a little bit with all the the major stars and the major characters. But as far as the Captain America movies, it's probably the best one in those.
How about you, Huck?
Yeah, look, this is like a spy movie, right? I mean, this is like the espionage genre, like tucked into a Captain America movie. And like you said, Nate, you got the other characters. You have to have some other characters. It can't just be Cap. He's got to have great people to bounce off. And the reason I love ScarJo in this as Black Widow is I honestly think they have the best chemistry. Like I know they try to put him and have a history with Clint as Hawkeye, and then try to shoehorn her in with the Hulk, Banner. But man, there's something about the two of them that is so organic and just hot. Like you want even when they're like when the bad guys come in, she's like, "Quick, kiss me," to distract him. Just even though that was just a ploy so they wouldn't stare at him. There was something electric and hot in those moments. I'm like,
wow.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so I think they're fantastic. And yeah, look, and the elevator scene when he's in there with like 10 guys and he's just like,
Right.
so anybody want to get off? Like gives him a chance to get out. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be so badass. And again, just having rewatched it, I'm like, that scene is so good. You know, just takes him out. Frank Grillo, man. Right? And that Frank Grillo.
And the introduction, Falcon, right? This was his first.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie. Yeah.
Get you
First
on
time
your
showing
left
up.
for the first time. We get that on your left, man. And
And-
it sets up that whole like bromance between those two.
Yeah, and you get all that like kind of like what happened in Thor 1, like the fish out of water humor, because he's still from, in his brain is in 1944 or whatever, but he's in modern times. So like the stuff with music, and they're trying to like teach him what's all the good music that came out since then and all that kind of stuff. Like it adds a lot of humor too. When
it's got the checklist, you know, trying to keep up with the current stuff. I'm like, that's funny. That's good.
It's great.
Mike, what about you?
It's fantastic. I mean, this is a way to really bring it into the modern era, because First Avenger, totally different time zone, but they freeze him and then they wake him up. So I love the fish out of water story at the beginning. That part's super funny and entertaining. And being on the left, oh my gosh, when he's running. Oh man, that is so great. And it has excellent action throughout the movie. That's very important when you do a political thriller, because you can do a political thriller and it can become very boring quickly if it's just dialogue and it's like, okay, eventually we'll find out the mysteries and whatnot. But you need action in there, and that's what the Russo bros do. They plug in this action so you never get bored. It kind of just wakes you up. Like when the Winter Soldier shows, oh my gosh, he catches. Oh my gosh, Captain America's shield is amazing. All the stuff with Samuel L. Jackson and the exploding vehicles, and then the ending scenes. Oh my gosh. And he just has a speech over the intercom, and he's like getting everybody like riled up and going after Hydra. Oh, Winter Soldier is just awesome. I love Winter Soldier. So even better than the first Avenger for me. It's just like the action-packed one. I absolutely
and when those helicarriers are going down and cutting through the building, I'm just like, dang, like the scale of this movie. It's like a Bond movie. It's like they treat it like a Bond movie, which is terrific.
All right, and then we got Captain America Civil War here. Ooh, Steve, I know you were talking about this one. They were cheating a little bit, right? Avengers, like 2.5 here?
Yeah, 2.5. It's more of an Avengers movie. It's only missing like a couple, like Thor and Hulk basically. So just missing those two characters, so it's basically a whole Avengers movie, and that's why I like it a lot. But it is more of a cheat. It's more, it's got more of that kind of star cast that the other two Captain America movies didn't have. So it's kind of hard to compete with that. But I like it. I like this movie a lot. So but like I said, it's as far as Captain America movies, it's really not technically Captain America, but it's Disney basically cashing in on Captain America and then trying to bring in a bigger box office, basically.
Yeah, because I think they announced this one right after Batman v Superman got announced, and Kevin Feige's like, we need to get something like that. Let's go Civil War now.
Right.
Yeah. But I love this one. Oh my gosh, to have so many characters in one movie and then make it make sense why they're fighting each other. Like that part in the beginning is awesome. I mean, so much good action in this one too. Just like Winter Soldier, the beginning's really energetic, and then you see what happens with Wanda and can't control her powers. Yeah. And then you got like Vision who's keeping her in the compound. And then, oh my gosh, when Hawkeye shows up, he's like, I've been retired for 2 seconds and everything goes to hell. Like, there's some good sneaky humor in here, too. Ant-Man comes up, and Ant-Man has some of the best moments, too. Oh my gosh. The airport scene becomes Giant Man. And then Spider-Man, of course. You see that really old, Star Wars movie.
Yeah, The Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what? I really like Baron Zemo in here. He's a very low-key kind of villain, but he makes sense. He's like, you know what? I can't tear apart the Avengers. A lot of better people than me have tried, stronger people. So it's all about, setting them up and having them fight each other. Oh, man. But they should have had more accurate costume. They should have had his mask in this one. I know he gets it in Falcon and Winter Soldier for a little bit, but I would have loved to see him full Baron Zemo costume by then. But that's my only gripe. Other than that, amazing action, super fun, super emotional, all these characters. How about you, Huck?
Oh man, look, you get hot Aunt May in here. I mean, if you can't love
yeah.
it,
We'll drink to that.
the fact that they went, and I love that they introduced Spider-Man. He's already there. He just has sort of a lame suit. And by the way, has anybody watched the animated Spider-Man show that's going on right now? It's so bizarre because since I just watched, when Tony Stark is showing him YouTube videos of Spider-Man saving that car as he's pushing against a bus and stopping the car, they recreate those scenes in that cartoon, which I didn't know until rewatching this movie. I'm like, oh my God, they literally just said this is that young Peter Parker story. That's what that cartoon is. So that's a nice tie-in to that. But anyway, the action is bigger and it's on an epic scale in this film, and that I think really holds up to any movie, any Marvel movie. So yeah, it just, and Ant-Man meeting Cap for the first time, shaking his hand. Hey, Cap, what's going on? And he's just fanboying out. That's what Marvel just dials it in, like that humor mixed with the drama, mixed with emotion, mixed with action. I think it's just dialed in to perfection in this movie.
And it's very natural humor. It's not like forced humor where they're like, oh, we got to put some jokes in here every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like Thor: Love and Thunder.
But I mean, we didn't talk. I just say Spider-Man. The fact that they got the rights to, that they got on loan from Sony basically to use him was a big deal at the time. And now I wish that Disney would buy out, just get all those characters from Sony and just bring them over, because we talk about the villains and the Spider-Man, the villains movies that they've done, and how much.
Hey, Mike likes those. He's fine with it.
Hey, Raven the Hunter is a hidden gem.
Get out of here with that. We're not talking about that.
Wow.
Really don't make me leave the stream. I'll do it.
Madam Web was brilliant too. Yeah. No.
But you're saying that like it didn't have Hulk and Thor, but we did get like Black Panther, Spider-Man, and Ant-Man being Giant Man. So there was like you were not missing in want of a really cool superhero.
Yeah, you forget about those guys.
Vision in full force. Yeah,
right.
It's super good. But it's an Avengers movie.
How about for you, Nate?
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say too. Like, not only did they intro Spider-Man, they also introed Black Panther, which was awesome.
Yeah.
This movie should have been called Avengers: Civil War. It's not a Captain America movie, and he is one of the main Avengers. So you didn't really have to do that and call it Captain America. I think this is a really, really good Avengers movie, and I think it's not a great Captain America movie because of that. Because he is not the main star. He is but so Tony Stark is equally as a main star in this movie. So
Team Captain America.
Yeah, the way they do these movies anyway, you could just call it Captain America and Iron Man Civil War. Like it is what it is. That's the only reason that keeps it from the top for me, because otherwise I think it's great. I think the action's great. I think the ending is great. I actually love the third act of this movie.
Yeah.
And I love the fight between Captain America and Iron Man. Like that. It's like that fight is so good. And maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know. I like the fight in Batman v Superman between them. Up until the Martha part, I like it. But this one, but this one felt more.
Where did you hear that name?
Yeah, it was a good fight, but this one felt more like important because you had seen them in so many movies already together, and so I think they nailed that.
Right.
And another parent's mention, he says, that's my father's shield. You have no right to have that shield. And you just
personal.
That feels a lot more natural than Martha. Why you say that?
The fight between Batman.
Like the stakes were a lot higher too, because like you said, Zemo tore them apart from the inside, and there was that culmination of that effect, and he did it, and he tore these two guys that were friends, like they weren't at each other like that at all. And it is funny though, because it's a Captain America movie. It starts with Tony Stark's storyline. Like I'm like, you kind of should let, I don't know, Steve Rogers have the first scene of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I realize that you need that moment in the elevator with Amanda Waller, or in that Waller in the hallway. It's not
Waller is DC.
Oh, Waller's DC.
We're mixing the universes.
Yeah. But anyway, so you need that moment to tell him you killed my son and I hold you accountable. But still need Steve Rogers as your first shot.
I mean, this one is so much more personal than that other movie. That's why it works. But yeah, I can never put it at the top because it just does. Like, I honestly felt bad putting it where I did. I would have put it even lower, not because it's bad, but like it's not a Captain America movie. It's an Avengers movie.
I wonder if we have it in the same spot.
It makes it tough, like quality-wise, as good or better than anything. But I don't know. I hate that it's called Captain America: Civil War.
Right.
And it has the ultimate MacGuffin, though, with the Winter Soldiers. At first, you think he's going to awaken the Winter Soldiers, and we're going to have this other crazy battle, and nothing happens with those Winter Soldiers. That could be a multiverse movie. You go back in time, and he does wake up the Winter Soldiers. There you go.
And I love that Hulk and Thor aren't in it because this is like just the Earth-based. And Hulk is Earth-based, but he flew in that jet to the other planet or whatever.
Everybody, though. Like, Hulk would destroy everyone.
Yeah, whose side would he be on? And like, that team has the advantage automatically.
That's probably why they're probably like, these guys are too OP. No way we can have them
out of here.
Well, you know what?
The Hulk. There you go.
Banner is so close to Tony Stark. I'm sure he would have sided with Stark. They're two broskies.
Right.
You know?
I would have liked to have seen him fight Giant Man though. Hulk versus Giant Man. Like, I think they could have done something cool with that.
Right.
Cool.
That was a great fight.
All right, so there we go. That's our first 3 Captain America movies, leaving up to Captain America: Brave New World. So we're going to do our post-game discussion here. Once again, I guess mild spoiler warning, but most people have already talked about this. Like, this info was out way before this movie came out, so just depends how sensitive.
They've been filming it for like 4 years or something crazy.
Yeah, lots of reshoots, and I'm sure we'll get into all of that. First up, we're going to talk our hero characters, right? And you know what? I will say, I do like the new Falcon guy. He was a person that I'm like, I didn't know much about this character, but he kind of has a charisma and a personality about him. And yeah, he works for, I guess, a Falcon replacement. But then it was weird because now we have the new Captain America, the Anthony Mackie character, but he still kind of feels like Falcon because he has the wings. Yeah. The wings throws me off. I'm like, Captain America, I feel like should not have the wings because now it's just like 2 Falcons running around. I don't know. That part was a little weird for me. I guess those are the main hero characters, you would call them. But I was a little underwhelmed by them. I mean, Anthony Mackie did the best he could with the script he was given, but I was never connected like emotionally to these hero characters. Not like when you go back to the first Avenger and you really connect with Captain America. I didn't feel any emotion here. How about you guys? How did you feel anything for these hero characters?
Well, yeah, again, I think Anthony Mackie, we got to give him a lot of credit for trying to take over a very difficult mantle as Captain America, because let's face it, I think we all still feel like Captain America is Steve Rogers, and trying to shoehorn the title onto someone else. And look, Anthony Mackie, like Sam Wilson, has to keep the Falcon suit because he never took the serum. So my problem is he cannot and should not lift that shield, throw that shield, catch that shield like Steve Rogers. He can't. He just physically can't. Right. And if you're going to pull that crap in this movie, I'm going to call you out on it. So he does use the suit to enhance throwing the shield or using it as extra blockade. So I appreciated that they took mindfulness of that, because otherwise, get out of here with that. Like, I get it. He's got the shield and he's worthy, but he can't wield it like. And he also can't fight as hard. He can't kick guys like you were saying earlier. Cap would kick somebody, right? And they go fly. You're not going to get that. And I want to see Captain America do that. He's, Falcon. I love him as Falcon. I love the wings. I love what he did with it, cutting that air fight with the ships, the other planes. That was probably the most exciting scene in the movie. Right. When Falcon and Cap are going after these, cutting the wings out, and he's doing all that cool stuff. That was like really showing the extent at which he could perform. So that was good. But, like you said, Mike, I don't know if I got emotionally connected to anything because it wasn't a story about him. It was never a story about Captain America. It was about other things. It was more about President Thaddeus Ross dealing with the transformation, with the thinker dude. What is he? The head dude, the
leader in the comics.
The leader, yeah. I mean, the dude for being like super smart wasn't super smart. I mean, like, he could have done better things. So, but that's getting into the villains. But anyway, so So I don't think it was as much about Cap as it was. I mean, if anything, you had Carl Lumley playing Isaiah, the older Cap. Like there's a story there. Let's have a resolution with that character. Let's bring old Cap with the new Cap, and let them fight. After all, he is a super soldier. That'd have been cool, and we weren't given that. So it was like you laid it out right there. There's an actual superhero, and he's just going to be in prison. That's a miss. That's a miss. Swing and a miss for me.
But I'm glad you brought up the super soldier serum. Like, would you have him taken that, Huck? Do you think he should have just take the super soldier serum and let's go with that?
Like, why not? It's like we want our Captain America to be a Captain America. Like Bucky's better than him. He can jump and punch and kick. Give it to Bucky. Let Bucky be Captain America. But his history wasn't going to let anybody do that, right? I mean, he did sort of kill a lot of people.
He was brainwashed.
It wasn't him.
I get that, and we know that. But people, like, especially if you're someone he killed, like you killed one of his family members. You're
like I read parents.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I don't see what the problem is with Sam taking it, other than he just chose not to. So because of that, we don't get our Captain America supersized. We get a small bag of fries. We don't get the jumbo bag of fries.
All right, Dave, how do you feel about all
I got
that?
a lot of things to say. I'm going to try to say them as quickly as possible because I want to let Steve go. And, first of all, I agree with pretty much everything Huck has had to say so far. Let me start really quick from the worst to the best. The worst being Ruth Bat Seraph, the Israeli head of security. Yeah. I kid you not. I'm not a big guy. Mike, you've met me. I'm not a tall guy. I'm a short fellow. And I probably make her look like a kid. She looks like she's 4'8".
Yeah.
37 pounds. And I'm like, I get it. You could be trained all you want.
Yeah.
At least Scarlett Johansson looks like an average woman size. She looks like a little kid, and she's like flipping over, and I'm
even
like,
Florence Pugh looks larger than she is.
Thank you for bringing that up. So now I'm riled up.
That's a real comic book character. Failure of casting. I blame the casting, not the character.
Oh, horrible.
Okay, number 2, Joaquin. Mike, you said something that I agree with, and you said we don't really learn anything, or you said you didn't really know too much about him before the movie, and I still don't know too much about him after the movie. I know his name is Joaquin. He's from Miami, and he's in the Air Force.
Where everything Miami Hurricanes is.
Like, there's nothing. I don't really know anything about him other than he's friends with Sam.
Yeah.
And he got some wings. Like, okay, cool. Then we'll go to Carl Lumley's character. You know what? I really am confused with that because Sam Wilson's like, you were a Captain America. Why have they not explained? To my knowledge, Steve Rogers was Captain America, and then he came back and he was again Captain America. Why have they never talked about the in-between when he was frozen? They never go into, there was other people who were Captain America. There was nope, but this guy just walks in the gym. He's like, he was Captain America. I'm like, when? I didn't see that. Yeah. I don't remember. That said, I do like Carl Lumley. I used to watch Alias, and he was really good on that. So I like him as an actor. He did his job, but whatever. And then we get to Anthony Mackie, and I like him as an actor, and I think he did fine with the role. It's not his fault. My problem is, like, he is still Falcon. He's Falcon. He's not just because he has a star on his chest and a shield, he's not Captain America. He has no powers. I hate the Hulk fight because he should be absolutely obliterated. He has no super soldier serum.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
He should have died. Like, he's a normal guy. He should have died.
But Nate, he talked about the flowers and calmed him down.
He talked him out of it. He talked him out of being Hulk, which
I don't
all you need is a good stern discussion point, and you could do it.
It would have been better if he did the Black Widow thing. It was like, the sun's getting low. And I got a joke, something, because he's just like, you don't want to do it. And he's like, you're right. And he shrinks. Anyway, he's not Captain America to me. I get the vibranium wing thing where they try to explain that's how he can absorb these punches, but I'm not buying it. I don't like that. I agree with Huck. He should not be able to throw that shield around and catch it. Like, it should just like hit one guy and fall. He doesn't have the force or the strength. Yeah, exactly. So he feels like Falcon. And what the movie, the reason he didn't take the super soldier serum is so that this movie can have 6 characters tell us how great he is. Because he didn't take it, and he's still trying anyway. And people can aspire to be him. He's a regular guy. That's the only reason I could think, is so that the writers could write all those lines so they could convince us that we love him. And I don't. I think I loved him as Falcon. I don't love him as Captain America. I can't help it.
Take a drink, Nate.
I'm done. That's it. I'm done.
Tell us how you really feel here. All right, Steve, you're up.
So I actually watched I don't know if you guys watched the series of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They did like 6 episodes.
Yep.
So I kind of learned about Anthony Mackie there. He was in $1 Million Baby years ago before he did Marvel. I remember from that. He was like an executive producer in this movie. And I don't remember seeing the beginning of the movie. I don't remember seeing the Marvel, how they normally flash the Marvel kind of flashback stuff at the beginning. I don't remember seeing that.
It did it in black and white, like to make it like a spy thriller movie.
Right.
Yeah, and the logo. They didn't run the usual logo. It was just that black and white logo. I'm like, I needed that great theme song. It's like it gets you. You're like, here we go, y'all, Marvel movie.
Yeah, you didn't get that feeling, but overall, I like the movie. I guess we'll talk about the villains here. We're going to talk about Harrison Ford next, or can we talk about him now?
Yeah, go for it, Steve.
Well, Harrison Ford. So obviously, he took over for William Hurt, who played Thaddeus Ross before. He played him in 5. It looks like 5 Marvel movies before. Usually like little cameos, and I think Harrison Ford. I think even though I like William Hurt's probably a better actor overall. I think he's won like an Oscar, and he's passed away now. But I thought that Harrison Ford brought something to it that William Hurt didn't bring before. Obviously, there was cameos before, but I thought he was a little bit better in this role. And as far as playing the Red Hulk, that whole thing, I thought he did great in that. But yeah, I think that Harrison Ford, even though he's like almost 80, was he 82, almost 82 years old, or 82 now? I thought he did a good job. I think he brought more energy than probably William Hurt would have done in that role. But I didn't like the way they used Red Hulk in this movie. What happened with that? You're watching a whole movie, and can we talk about Tim Blake Nelson yet, or are we going to talk about?
Yeah, he put the number 3 up. Just go for it.
Go for it.
Tim Blake Nelson, I think he's a good actor. I've seen him like some Coen Brothers movies, but I thought he was a kind of a terrible villain in this movie. It's just not memorable at all. I didn't like that character. I know that if you've read the comics, I know you know that character, but I just didn't like the way he used him. They'll probably use him a little bit more now that he's locked up, whatever. They'll probably use him more in the other Avengers movies that are coming up. Maybe we'll get to like him a little bit more. I just thought he playing that character was a little bit weak in this movie. It just didn't bring that terror that I think they try to bring to with that role. His way he's controlling people and everything. That's how I feel. I think that was a little bit of a miss. I think for to have him be a villain in this movie.
All right. Well, this was a big miss for Marvel. And Marvel isn't known for having the best villains. And I'm like, can it get worse? And it got a lot worse with this one. Oh my gosh. And you know what? They could have done something special here. If they didn't super advertise the Red Hulk, like if we didn't know Red Hulk was in this movie and it was a big surprise moment, that would have been awesome. But they put Red Hulk on every single poster. He was like a main part of the trailers. You're like, okay, at least we'll have a Red Hulk movie. Like he's probably going to be in half of this movie at the very least. He was in it for like 5 minutes. That was ridiculous. Like if you're going to advertise him that much, just use him throughout the movie as the main villain. Make Red Hulk the main villain. Why not? Like, I usually don't like recasting, but Harrison Ford actually did a pretty good job here. He had that charisma about him. So I actually like that character. Just make Red Hulk the main villain, and then we have something a little bit more entertaining and interesting. But no, he was just a side character. So that pissed me off. And then, okay, it was so weird. So you had the leader villain, who I think was intentionally the main villain starting off, but then you had his like henchman person that I think was added in with reshoots, right?
Oh yeah, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, he did not need to be in this movie at all. Like, what the heck? That was the worst thing to do with reshoots ever, is just add in a secondary villain that still nobody cares about. Like, Why? Why? Just add in more Red Hulk if you're going to do that. And they didn't. Totally wasted Red Hulk. The secondary villain was even terrible than the main villain. And okay, the leader guy, you guys said he's from the comics. Who
The leader,
is
yeah.
he? And
He was in the Incredible Hulk.
So he's a green alien looking
He's
guy
Mr. Blue.
in the Hulk. Okay.
Yeah, he's got his head gets bigger. Now
Okay.
they just make it more look like an actual brains popping through his skull.
In the
That's
comic,
what I
he's
was
green and has a
thinking.
big
Yeah.
brain.
Okay, so I was thinking that at first, but I'm like, I don't know. He looks a little too
looks
odd
stupid
for
in
it
this.
to be that villain. I'm like,
It's
that's
the
an
villain.
Incredible Hulk villain. Incredible Hulk's not in here. Why would you waste that villain that's known for the Incredible Hulk in a Captain America Falcon movie? It was so weird. Like, their choices for villains here. I mean, Marvel's never been good with villains besides like Thanos and Loki. But this was a new level of low. I don't even think they tried with villains. It feels like, okay, let's do this movie and think about the villains afterwards. And literally, they did that with the reshoots. It was terrible. Oh my gosh,
Right.
these villains are so bad. Nate, how do you feel here?
You guys are really killing it tonight. Let me tell you something. You're telling the people the truth because first of all, Harrison Ford, Thunderbolt Ross is a great character in the comics, and William Hurt played him fantastically. He passed away. You can't really do anything about that. Harrison Ford, you could do worse as far as recasting, and I thought he was good in this, especially when he was like yelling. There was one scene where he's getting to like an argument, and I was like, okay, he's acting. He doesn't. It's not like the last Indiana Jones or Star Wars where he was kind of like, please kill me so I don't have to do these anymore. He seemed like he was into it. So I was into it. I was like, okay. But he's not really a villain in this movie. He's actually trying to turn his life around, do good, make up for his mistakes, and he's forced into being the Red Hulk by the leader, Samuel Stearns. So he's barely a villain. And you're right, Mike. I think he had like 7 minutes of screen time or something like that. I also hate the Red Hulk as an idea. I think it's very stupid. I never was interested in it. Bruce Banner's the Hulk. That's it. There's one. I don't like that. She-Hulk is a little bit different story, but in the comics, not that show. But and then you have
ideas, Nate.
Yeah, no.
The next one.
Yeah, we leave her alone.
Actually, this movie could have used a little She-Hulk, if I'm being honest.
Maybe she probably would have fought him better than Falcon did. I mean, Captain America. Sorry, Captain America.
See?
Yeah, I don't know. Who's the other guy? Oh, Samuel Stearns. I kid you not. I saw The Incredible Hulk in 2008 when it came out 17 years ago. And I was sitting in the theater and that little drip goes in his head and his head starts getting, and I'm like, oh, shoot. What is that? Let me Google it. Googled it. The leader, I was like, this is great. He will be a villain, maybe in an Avengers, maybe in a Hulk sequel. That never happened. So they waited 17 years to pay that off. And I'm 99% sure there's people in the theater who do not even know that guy was in The Incredible Hulk. I guarantee it. I will put money on it. Kids don't know who that is. They're like, who? It's just some bad guy. And you don't know the history he has. So I think it was a horrible idea. And was there Giancarlo? I like Giancarlo Esposito as an actor.
Breaking Bad, yeah.
The fact that 60-year-old guy was beating up Captain America and giving him a hard time tells you all you need to know about this new Captain America. Steve Rogers will punched him once over. Would have been no fight. No fight. So I don't know. I villains thumbs down.
How about you, Huck?
Yeah, I mean, okay. And I am going to back up just for a second, Nate, because you got me all riled up. I have to go back.
Wow.
I got to deal with this Ruth character. She was so tiny. I'm sorry. I got to shout it out. Exactly what you're saying. It's like, I get if she's a Black Widow, you get a nice fit, like Haley Atwell looking chick who's like Haley Atwell, right? Let's get her. And I mean, but she's so small. I'm like, there's no, you could go have all the training. I get it. To call her Black Widow doesn't give you an excuse that she can kick the ass of a 6'7" guy. No way ever. No.
Yep.
I'm with you. I'm only 5'5". I can kick her ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
anyway,
me. She came up to here to everybody. I'm like, just stop.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That was my thing. My wife didn't mind it. She thought it was kind of cool that some tiny person would kick ass. Like, yeah, but it's not real. I mean, yeah. All right.
She would look up to Florence Pugh, though. It's very like Florence Pugh would be a giant compared to her.
Maybe
like,
if she had super serum, then you could explain it. But she was just a trained lady, tiny.
She was a 96-pound chick.
Yeah.
But all right, so to the villains, I won't even waste time. You guys said it all. Same thing, Giancarlo, the thinker, whatever the brainy, I can't even, leader. See, that's how inconsequential. I can't even remember his freaking name because he has no presence as a villain. And yes, to use a Hulk. By the way, most people don't even think of the Incredible Hulk as being part of the Marvel franchise, even though it is. People just think it's like an offshoot because it was from.
They brought back Betty for the first time in 17 years.
I mean, look, I'll be honest though, I loved that. I loved seeing Betty. That actually like was the little heart because it is that connection to Thaddeus that was normally to William Hurt that I think it kind of needed. Obviously, it was a full-on reshoot that she visits him at the thing because I think he was supposed to get killed, like Ross was, So I'm like, okay, so we get a daddy-daughter moment, which as a daddy with a daughter, I like that. But and I love Liv Tyler. I mean, I can't get enough of her. So
she looks cool. CGI to me. I don't know.
She
I saw this
looks
a little bit. So yeah, I don't know why we had to bring in a Hulk villain for Captain Falcon. I know.
There's too much Incredible Hulk in this for there to be no Bruce Banner. That's what pisses me off.
Well, and the girl even said, I didn't know they came in red. Like, because even she's like, aren't these usually green?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's just, this is the Incredible Hulk.
I can't even imagine Red Hulk and Hulk battling off with the age of Thaddeus Ross. I can't imagine seeing that kind of square off, but I wouldn't mind seeing those two CGI characters go at it. But I don't know how you would write that in.
I'll go beat the crap out of this Red Hulk because Falcon stood his ground. He didn't win, but he stood his ground and he talked him out of it. No problem. Real Hulk.
I don't know how he didn't get murdered.
Yeah, Red Hulk does not get stronger with anger like the real Hulk does. So it would not be a fight. But yeah, this is actually Incredible Hulk 2, not Captain America 4. Mm-hmm. Thunderbolt Ross is a Hulk character. The leader is a Hulk character. Betty shows up. That's a Hulk character. Yeah. Red Hulk is in it. Like, this is a Hulk.
Get it on, Nate.
Yep.
It is funny to look at Mackie. I think you're all right. Like, when I look at Mackie, I do look and go, that's the Falcon wearing a captain suit. Like, because he's so good as it's a compliment to him as the Falcon.
You're a good actor.
I agree.
But it feels strange with him in that suit going up against like Hulk and all that stuff. I'm like,
yeah,
he's just the keeper of the shield. That's all he is.
Holder of the shield.
Captain America gave him the shield, and so it's his job to protect it and represent his country. That whole thing.
Oh, Mike, I don't mean to. Can I jump back real quick because I know. Huck said something about Bucky not being able to be Captain America because he killed too many people, and I actually. The more I thought about it, I kind of agree. However, then it's stupid because this movie is like positioning him to be like a politician of some sort. He's some kind of politician. So if people are going to vote for him, they surely could understand that he could be Captain America. I mean,
you're not wrong.
If he's going to be in office,
depends on the district, though. We don't know these days.
That's true. You're right. Yeah, that's true.
In a red state or
depends on the district. But all I'm saying is, if he's going to be in politics and he's going to be a person of the people, whichever people they are, he should be Captain America. He should have been Captain America.
Weirder people have won elections.
Yeah. They said he's 110 years old.
That's okay. He looks great.
Yeah, he looks great for his age.
He looks great.
So I know we're already kind of talking about it here with the story. But man, this story was just a jumbled mess. They had no clear vision for this one. Like, I love Endgame, but it caused so many problems with taking out Iron Man and Steve Rogers. I'm like, why would you take out Steve Rogers too? There was no point for him to like go back in time. I get it. Emotionally, that's great for him, but we need more legit Captain America movies. So we should have had, young Steve Rogers back. I mean, that would have been way better. But yeah, this story is just a bunch of mess. I'm already forgetting it, and I watched it like a couple days ago. I'm like, what happened here? It's a political thriller, so it's trying to be Winter Soldier, but it's not as clear as Winter Soldier. It's just such a weird paced movie. Like, I know stuff happened, but what really happened? Like, I know, like, there was Red Hulk at one moment. Like, even the action scenes.
Literally one moment.
Yeah,
but I don't know. This movie,
people kept getting arrested in this movie. Like, I feel like 5 people went to jail.
Right?
Oh my gosh,
a lot of arresting going on.
Tons of arrests.
How is this movie more confusing than like Avenger movies when you have so many Avenger characters in here? This is so confusing, this movie. Oh my god.
5 screenwriters. That's number one. I watch when I watch movies, I read credits and I'm like, there's a lot of writers. When it came up to screenplay by, and it was a bunch of people. That's number one. 4 rounds of reshoots. 4.
Wow.
4. That means they filmed it, didn't like it, filmed more, didn't like it, reshot, didn't like it, and did it again. So, that will lead to convoluted. It's like, it's got to be impossible to shoot the same movie that many times with different stuff and make it good. Like, I just can't. I don't know of an example of it. Maybe there is one. But yeah, Mike, I agree with you. I think it's just it's just like stuff happens and you get to the last fight. And like I said, a bunch of people tell you that Captain America's great. You could be like him because he's regular. And I'm like, thank you for that. And then where does it end? Like when the movie ends, where are we? Joaquin is jacked up in the hospital, but he lived. The Israeli girl is there.
And it
She's
ends with
somewhere.
a cute little quip from him. Oh,
Yeah.
Miami credits.
Miami, get it? If you're from Miami, it's a great joke. If you're not,
I guess how it
sorry.
ends.
And Thunderbolt Ross is in jail. And then there you go. Voluntarily, by the way.
And
Voluntarily.
not just jail, but that prison in the ocean. Like,
the
The
Harry
raft.
Potter prison
The raft.
in the middle of the water. Yeah.
have to be on the raft. Yeah. And I don't know if you noticed too, but like in that fight at the end, talk about you could feel the reshoots. There were so many shots of Mackie. And it was so clear it was green screen. I'm like, what is behind him? Like, is that the ground? And it looked like the people were AI behind him because they weren't moving. Like they weren't organically moving. I'm like, people would be moving around,
Yeah.
And did anyone else like on the I'm just such a stickler for like continuity that feels right when he's flying around and he lands on the ground super hard, which by the way just would have snapped all of his legs off.
The
He lands
Jello.
so damn hard, like, and he's not the Hulk. You can't land as a human. No super serum, right? Just so you know. And then he just holds the pose and he goes, "Wait for it," and then the sonic boom knocks everybody over. I'm like, Falcon has always done the cool when he lands. He sort of lifts his legs up and then lands because he's human. Like you need that sort of gentle set down. No, this one he lands like a freaking, Hulk.
Like an anvil.
And just, bam, like I'm like, oh my god! The first thing I thought is, how are his legs intact still? So stuff like that, I'm like, come on, he can't land like that. He's not Iron Man.
There was no need to follow up the Hulk movie. Like you guys were saying, that Hulk movie came out so long ago. Like even when I was watching that movie in preparation for this new one, because I heard, okay, watch the Incredible Hulk movie. My wife Anna's like, why the heck are you watching this one? Is this like the original Hulk movie? I'm like, no, this is MCU Hulk, but the character's different. No, it's a different actor. I had to explain this all to her. So I'm like, if she didn't get it, I watch these movies all the time. Nobody gets what is going on here. They just waited too long to do this. And if you are going to do a Hulk type of movie, like you guys said, put Hulk in the movie. Like, Hulk. Like come on.
Might as well bring in Abomination at that point. Like,
might as well, right?
I'm going to read this real quick because this kind of has to do with the story, I guess. Like what choices they made. My brother, he didn't watch this movie, but he sent me a text while I was in the theater. And he just texted me. He said, let me know if Hulk punches him in that movie. And I said, okay. And then he texted me back like an hour and a half later. He's like, has he been punched yet? And I said, Red Hulk hasn't even shown up yet. And he's like, you're kind of far in. What is going on? I said, I don't know.
We don't know either.
Not here yet. And then I texted him and I said, okay, he punched him. And then my brother said, stupid. And then I said, but he has that black power absorb power in his wings. And then I said, okay, he's now punched him about 53 times. But he has not got hurt. And then my brother just said, that's stupid. And then he didn't text me again. And he's not going to see this movie now just because of that. So, why would you write this that way? It's silly.
And they could have made it cool, like Red Hulk shows up and now Falcon is just trying to survive, flying away, like I can't defeat this guy. And then actual Hulk shows up to fight the Red Hulk. Like that would have made more sense. But they didn't do that.
Marvel hates Hulk.
Downplaying Captain America even more. It's like, move, I'll take care of this. Great. Another reason.
There's already an Incredible Hulk sequel, so it would have been par for the course. But Marvel hates. Right. They hate the Incredible Hulk, so I don't know.
Yeah,
We know that.
didn't they have
We
like
hate
was it the new Joaquin, or was it Falcon that was riding the rocket as they shot out?
that was Falcon.
He's
I mean,
riding
that
it.
was Captain America.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was
It,
Captain
it
America.
rode for like 2 seconds. I was
He
like,
surfs on it.
He's surfing on
Yeah.
surfing on the rocket.
As he
I'm like,
pushes
wow,
it
I was
in the
kind of
ocean.
okay with that because like it's a comic book movie. It
that
looked
was
kind of
fun.
cool.
It was
I
memorable
saw this in
part of it.
IMAX, and that scene was like shot in IMAX. I was like, oh, okay, that's stupid, but I kind of like it.
All right, there we go. So,
Yeah,
Nate, was
I
that
actually
your
didn't hate
favorite
the movie,
scene?
but I gave it a C. I thought it was very, very weak.
Was that my favorite scene? It was one of I think that whole scene is my favorite scene of the movie. The scene with Japan in the you know what? When we were talking about Star, we didn't even talk about the adamantium stuff and the
Yeah.
Eternals ties and the big thing in the ocean. Whatever, it
Oh, the
doesn't matter.
celestial head that they don't.
Yeah,
even
there's
touch on.
adamantium in there. I wonder if they're gonna do X-Men. Okay. Yeah, that was my favorite scene, that whole action scene. I will say, if this movie did anything well, I did like a lot of the action scenes. Whether I agree with how the people within them actually function is one thing, but they're well shot. I thought most of them were pretty cool. That one's the best, where it's like Top Gun, except 2 people are flying with like mechanical wings and there's jets. I did like that. And I thought visually it was cool. Like the air, I like aerial, fights. I thought they were cool in Iron Man. I thought it was cool in this. So yeah, that's probably my favorite scene of the movie is that naval kind of like little battle thing with the U.S. and Japan and the warships and all that. That was actually well done.
How about for you, Huck? What scene did it for you?
You know, it's funny though. It reminds me of like Gladiator 2. When we all picked the water scene in the thing. Because I don't think there is any other really good staple scene. The Hulk scene, I think we all have the same problem with it, which is like just by doing the Hulk, bam, the clap of like if he just did one of those claps, which he did, to the courtyard and took everybody out, that would just be enough to knock him out, and then he could run up and rip him in half, right? So that scene just doesn't stand out. Other than it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch Harrison Ford Hulk out and do a little fighting. That was cool. But really, it's that aerial scene is the one staple scene of that movie that was excellent. It was really the surfing of the thing for a couple of seconds was even cool. And it shows the inexperience of this new Falcon as opposed to Anthony Mackie's version. I love watching him use the wing to cut that wing off, and they slowed it down just when they needed to so you could watch the epicness of that moment. So yeah, it's the only one though. Like I can't even challenge myself other than the Hulk scene. If for 2 hours was there a third scene? I mean, the Giancarlo shooting at him, I don't count that. That was kind of cool as a couple of shootouts, but it's not an action sequence.
The beginning, I like the beginning well enough. Like the first 5 minutes, it was action packed. So I'm like, okay, we're getting into something here. But it just,
the fire thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it
didn't make a lot of sense, but it was cool.
I forgot it happened. So
yeah.
I mean, some of the hand-to-hand fights in that though, I thought were just so clunky and sloppy. They weren't magnificent. Like you need like a Jackie Chan choreographer doing a great fight scene, and it just looked like kind of mediocre hand-to-hand combat. One, as Nate said, he can't kick somebody through a window, so it doesn't take it to the next level. That's why I barely remember the opening sequence other than his leg should have snapped in half when he landed. That's all I remember from that.
I like the mystery when taking Isaiah to the White House and the whole thing where he attempts something, the assassination, and then you wonder all the mystery of why he did that, and then they revealed that they were all being controlled, and they're looking at their phones, and there's like a flash of light, whatever. And I like just the mystery, and then once it got to that area, and they showed the leader, it kind of ruined it at that point. And I recognized the actor right away as soon as I heard him speak. He did like a Criterion. Tim Blake Nelson did like a Criterion Closet appearance like maybe a couple months ago, and I like that. Like I said, I like that actor. I just thought he was really weak in that as a character. They should have had somebody a little bit larger, and he wasn't really imposing enough. He's really just kind of this mysterious character before they finally show his face. So I like that, and up until that, the mystery up until then when they kind of revealed it was kind of a letdown at that point when they actually showed the leader. thought it, and just knowing who the actor was, I didn't know he was in the movie at all. I didn't see it in the credits in the movie until he popped up, and I thought, oh, I know who this guy is.
Until they show his face, and everyone in the theater says,
Who's that?
I recognize him. Yeah, nerds like me would recognize him from the phone. He was in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He's one of the
I
brothers.
love him in Minority Report, where he's
Yeah.
like in charge of all the sleeping people. I will say, I like the White House scene. Now that you mentioned it, I like that scene up until there's one moment that I left. And he's chasing his friend Isaiah through the White House. Isaiah jumps out the window, smash, running on the floor. Anthony Mackie comes up to the window, has to run down the stairs. He has to run down the
He's
stairs.
got his wings with him, yeah.
He can't even jump out this window. How super is he? He's
not.
got to take the long way everywhere.
He's smart, right?
A long way, right? Huffing and puffing. Oh, stairs.
That's what this movie should be.
Back to with the whole phone thing. Also, what are the odds that all the people you possess pulled their damn phones out during a press conference? Like all those security guys with guns. Hold on.
Oh.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the writing, right? Like you're just having me accept that the 5 or 7 people that were possessed conveniently pulled out their phones and got the flashes in their face, and then they were like that. I'm like,
yeah. For some reason, though, I was thinking more people were possessed. Was it confirmed it was just those like 5 or 7 people?
Yeah, they said
it was
the
a White House.
7 people. Yeah.
Really? See, I was trying to write a better script. I'm like, maybe he possessed everybody there, and so it was just random chance who got chosen out of to be the 5, 7, whoever was.
Like whoever has
Yeah, he apparently possessed a ton of people all over the place somehow, some way. But in the White House scene, it was just the ones that got arrested, and then that guard gets possessed, shoots him, and then everyone's possessed in this movie. I didn't even know what was going on most of the time.
Yeah, should have possessed the tiny little girl because she's really good.
She can beat them all up.
She's the most dangerous character in the movie.
I'm still trying to think, what was the leader's like main like plot, like his goal? He was just trying to release the Red Hulk, right? Or was it something else?
His goal was to get revenge on Thunderbolt Ross for keeping him in that prison. And the goal was to, turn him into the Red Hulk, show he's still evil, have him kill a bunch of people, and that would be, ultimately his revenge. Right. That's what it was.
And have people see that happen so that he
correct. He gave him those pills, and he made him.
I'm not familiar with the Red Hulk necessarily, but I've told that he wanted to keep his daughter away from Bruce Banner, and so he wanted to become the Red Hulk. I think, but in this movie, it's by accident. He has to take these pills and
heart problem.
He had heart problems, and then all of a sudden, if he didn't take the pills, he could rage out, whatever. But that's not what the character was originally. It was so he could battle the Hulk, and I guess that was the original comic book.
Red Hulk has heat, gives off like a lot of heat, and the only reference they do in this movie is when he's touching the floor and it like singes a a He didn't even use it. Like they didn't even do that right. Like,
oh my god, really?
Yeah, they didn't do that right.
Because now I remember a close up of his hand. It looked like there was heat coming off of him. Like, oh, he's still like hulking out. But I would not unless you said that.
Yeah, they picked a dumb character and then didn't even do it right. Just do it right, at least.
I'm still trying to grasp this plot here. Like, I'm still trying to get him to, okay. So he gives him the pills to make him better, right? Like, it heals him in a way so he doesn't die.
No, it's actually making him worse. The pills are actually slowly putting the stuff in him.
Yeah. Well, putting the Red Hulk in him, but it's still keeping him alive, right?
It kept him alive, but it had traces of gamma over time.
So instead of just letting him die, I'm sure, very painful disease, he's like, let's just dose them over a long time and turn them into the Hulk.
You're not going to die. You're going to live. And then kill a bunch of people.
I'll show you.
This is the dumbest plot ever.
Brainiac over there.
He also gets outsmarted by Falcon a million times.
I got to jump on what you said, Nate. So this also bugged me. I kept telling my wife. So when that guard was possessed and he opens the door and he bang, 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 and he shoots him. Okay, the Black Widow, tiny 4'2" girl, right? Okay, she's trained. At that moment, her character she pulled out her gun and she saw what he was about to do, and she goes, drop your gun. He starts shooting, and she still doesn't take him down. He turns and she goes, "Drop your gun again." No,
Shoot.
no. Like from the moment she saw what he was about to do, she like a good black would have reacted and taken him down. Friend or not, you can see he is about to do something wrong, and she let both those moments go. All 3 guys were killed, and then he kills himself. She still doesn't pull the trigger. Like the guy couldn't have pulled it, and he's slower to his chin. He's
That's
like,
right. He shot himself.
I'm like, come on! Like, and she never took the shot. And that, God, that kind of stuff.
Their blood is on her hands. She let it happen. Watched it.
Yeah, right. She could have
right.
stopped it. Am I wrong?
I agree.
Yeah,
now
I
I'm mad
wonder
about
why
that
they
too. I didn't even think about it, but now I'm upset about it. As well.
I need some Thaddeus Ross pills right now. I'm blowing a cow's
Well, I wonder why did they even have that widow in the movie? Like, couldn't they have had Florence Pugh come in and do the widow stuff, if anything?
She's in Thunderbolts.
Well, that character. So check this out. Okay, we're gonna get even more into the
So is
rewrite.
Bucky, Bucky's
That
in Thunderbolts, too.
character, she's like an Israeli, not Captain America, not Captain Israel, but an Israeli like hero character that wears a costume and everything.
Yeah.
But with all the real life turmoil and this and the news, and they rewrote it down to she's the head of security. They mentioned she's from Israel, and that's it. That's all you get. So she was probably cooler. She might have been cooler in the regular version, but she still would have been little, which would have made it a problem for me no matter what. But yeah, she's dumbed down to like the minimal amount of character you could be to be in a movie.
Yeah, but Gal Gadot was an Israeli soldier as well, and she's like, that's you give me somebody her size.
Yeah, she's
I've
like
got
6
Colby
feet tall.
Sellers as Maria Hill. Give me her.
Yeah.
Give me somebody built like either of those women. I'm good, but no,
We got that little lady. I feel bad for her because it's not her fault. She's little, but why would they? I don't know why they casted her in.
She was just
in
poorly
that role.
cast. I don't dislike the actress. She was just poorly cast.
Right. I agree.
She's pocket sized.
Pocket sized Black Widow.
There you go.
All right.
I hope we don't see her again in another movie.
All right. I think we've already mentioned the Easter eggs here. I don't know if they were all exciting. Like, cool, yay, you mentioned the Eternals with the Celestial coming out of the ground, but they didn't really do much with it. And, like, what happened with the rest of the Eternals? Why? Why do we need to bring up Eternals again? Like, I thought we were done with that. They realized, okay, maybe not the best idea. Let's move on from it. But now I'm like, okay, are they doing an Eternal sequel now? Like, what the heck is happening here? So these Easter egg references, I feel like somebody was like, oh, you know what? People keep bringing up Eternals and how we never talk about that. So let's just throw something in this movie so we can be like, hey, we know the Eternals happened, but we're still not going to do nothing with it. Like, oh, the worst way to do Easter eggs. But I mean, was there anything that stood out for you guys for any cameos, Easter eggs, anything that was like, yay?
I will say,
I mean, that is the one Easter egg. Oh, go ahead, Nate.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to, because I want to just piggyback off that Easter egg. Mike, that is the one Easter egg I was excited about, because whatever you think of the Eternals, that was a great thing. Like seeing a head come out of the water, it's the size of a continent. It's just like, finally, let's do something with that. And then it's just, there it is. Guess what's inside the head? Adamantium. We didn't even go in the head to see it. We just dude's holding it like, yeah, I'm gonna give it to my girlfriend. I mean, so we got the one Easter egg I wanted to see. Really, give me it. Just nothing. I mean, I don't know. Is Betty Ross an Easter egg? I don't know. I guess I liked her.
Yeah,
if I'm grasping at straws.
I was gonna say, Mike, I think I agree with you. And like, I feel like the fifth writer, by the time they got to him, he was like, let's just go to these movies that never had a sequel that no one ever talks about, and let's do some stuff. We're gonna bring back Samuel Stearns. He's gonna play that song that says "Mr. Blue." Remember Mr. Blue on the computer in the Incredible Hulk from 17 years ago? People have been born since that movie came out, and they don't even know what it is. They're 17 years old, 16 years old.
Yeah.
So I guess the adamantium, because I love X-Men. That it was cool that they said it. Like there's adamantium in there, and I'm like, that's Wolverine, baby. Let's go. So this is an X-Men prequel and Incredible Hulk sequel.
They're like, we're still working on X-Men. We just want to let you guys know it's gonna happen.
You guys remember X-Men? You know what Wolverine's made out of?
I know,
that
but
man
we
too.
just got Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine anyway, so it's not like we were like itching, like, oh, I need another Wolverine real quick.
Well, you got to remember they've been working on this for 17 years or whatever, however long it's been. It was probably a cool idea when they did it, and then Deadpool and Wolverine came out. I was like, shucks. Well, we're just gonna leave it in. It's too late now. We've reshot this 4 times already.
Yeah. Might
I
as well
really
Japan
want to
too.
know
Yeah.
how much money they spent on the reshoots here, because I don't think they added anything of value. With
I
the
heard that the budget, when you look at the listed budget of 180, that's the reshoot budget. That's what I heard.
Gosh.
You're writing
That's a whole
off
another movie. That
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
two
yeah.
movies if you spend it wisely.
I read somewhere that Marvel's writing off the original version, like they're doing it like a write off, like what they're not even counting it. So the budget for this is probably like $400 million, and they're not gonna say. But yeah, it was pretty crazy to think that about this when you watch it. It's like this costs $400 million. When and what did they do with it? How much did they give Harrison Ford? A lot.
Yeah.
Piece of the
All
back
right,
end, maybe.
Steve. Anything stick out to you here? I know you're a big comic book fan.
Yeah. So, the Wolverine movie with Japan. when he go to Japan, and so they do this like peace treaty thing with the that fine that they had it in Japan. I guess didn't want them to have it. I didn't know Japan even had a military.
I don't think they do. I thought they had like to cancel it or something.
Yeah, they don't have military anymore after World War II, and so somehow they have a military now. And it's confusing what they did with that, and they almost had World War III break out because of this, or some kind of a war would break out because of it, and a peace treaty, attempt to have a peace treaty. So it's not real world. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I don't have any much else.
I know why it was Japan. It was Japan because this movie has to come out in China, and so it could not be China. But if you just look at this as Japan being a fill-in for China, then it makes a lot more sense, because it makes no sense with it being Japan. Absolutely, right. You're right. They don't even have the military. They would never do anything that happens in this movie. They wouldn't do it. So it's, that's kind of weird. But again, they don't want to. Disney Marvel's like, we cannot say it's China. It's Japan, because this got to play in China still. So they let real world politics determine how they write their movie, and then they make stupid decisions like that, and then none of us know why or what's going on, or it's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, they couldn't have Russia or something like that.
Well, even pick Russia.
Yeah,
pick anyone else than Japan.
We love Japan. They're not threatening. We love them. So.
We love Japan. Come on.
All right, I think I know the answer to this next question, but did this movie meet your expectations? So let me talk about it, because you guys gave me grief about Kraven the Hunter. And I'm going to tell you, Kraven the Hunter is 10 times better than this movie. Kraven the Hunter is a Kraven the Hunter movie from start to finish. The storyline makes more sense, and it's Kraven the Hunter characters in it. So in terms of actually comic book accurate, Kraven the Hunter was really hitting it compared to this. So to me, Kraven the Hunter I like even more now when comparing it to Captain America Brave New World. That being said, though, I will say this movie could have been worse. It could have been worse. This was the worst movie I've seen all year. Like Flight Risk is probably the worst movie I've seen,
I like
at
that.
the theaters anyway. At the theaters anyway. So it's watchable. There's like cool moments in it, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I thought it was going to be on the level of like First Avenger at least. Like, I know it's going to be tough to get Civil War level, Winter Soldier level. Just give me like a really good, like solid entry. So this went below expectation. And I think this was the wrong movie to choose this month. After watching Paddington and Peru today, we should have been talking Paddington. Paddington
people vote for this?
Was way better than Brave New World.
It's not our fault. Didn't people vote? Didn't your subscribers vote for this?
They did. I voted for it, and I made a mistake.
Well, this made enough money. I feel like it was the biggest movie of the weekend. So in that regard, As far as meeting, I'm going to have maybe a weird answer. I'm going to say it did meet my expectations because they were low, and I did not think it was going to be good. I did not think it was going to be bad, like god awful. And I have a ton of issues. I would say there's still Marvel movies that I think are worse than this, even with all the negatives. When I sat down and watched it, the action kept me, engaged for the most part. I thought all the acting was good. So like, it's not bad in that way. Like it is just a terrible script and a lot of gobbledygook and a lot of weird choices. And it's not Captain America and it's not great, but I'd watch this over a couple other MCU movies. So I would say it met my expectations right at the floor where they were.
The only ones I can think of that I would watch this over is probably like Thor 2 and Iron Man 2.
This is better than the Marvels. I absolutely hated the Marvels.
Yeah.
I would watch this.
It's very close. I don't know. Very close.
I would watch this over the Marvels. I would watch this over. What's the other one? Ant-Man Quantumania. I thought that was worse than this.
Yeah, I would go Ant-Man Quantumania.
That looks like a cartoon. It doesn't even look real. There's a man made out of jelly. Like that's worse. That one's MODOK. MODOK is horrible.
Well,
I would say this is like bottom 5 for me. Bottom 5.
Yeah,
I'd have to really think about it, but it's definitely bottom 5.
How about you, Huck? Did the match up to Kraven the Hunter work?
Damn, mate. You see, I was going to shock you and literally say I'd watch the Marvels over this again.
Some people might.
Because here's the thing with the Marvels. That one gave me exactly what I thought. It was like, it's girl power, which I thought they did a nice job with. The cute stuff in it was kind of fun. The dancing was fun. And even the end, like, of the Marvels where you get, like, Monica Rambeau going into this universe that has the X-Men and it had like the Beast there. I mean, that was rad. That was an ending. Cool. This one had a forgettable ending, and we haven't talked about the stupid post-credit sequence, which was like
I didn't even remember it.
I don't even know what it means. I don't know what it means.
It was just Anthony Mackie walking back to the leader, right, the Brainiac guy. And he's like, I'm back. You're not going anywhere. And he's like, oh, but you don't know. There's other universes in this world, and there's people there that you may, and one day you're gonna find out.
I feel like we've heard
all he's doing is teeing up the Fantastic Four. That the Fantastic Four is in another universe.
Oh, okay. I thought he was almost teeing up Secret Wars.
I mean, it could be, but to me, he's setting up Fantastic Four, because that's what they're saying with that is it's a separate universe and something will happen that will bring them here. Now, why the leader would even know this? Like, how would he know?
Smart.
Anthony Mackie is smarter than him. He should know it.
There's nothing in that character that leads us to think he knows. It's just an exposition dump at the end that also does nothing. It doesn't tell you, like, is it Secret Wars? Is it Fantastic Four? It's so throwaway that you just don't give me one. Like,
he lives in a basement. How could he possibly know that?
Yes, and he's got very limited resources. Yeah. Like Thaddeus Ross made sure he doesn't have too much anyway. So, I did this. Yeah, I mean, so I guess it met like Nate. I don't know if I put it on the floor when I was going in, but I wasn't expecting like the 3 Captain America's good. But I didn't know how low it would go. I don't know. So it was just okay. Like I had a good time, watched it with my wife. I walked out. I wasn't disappointed. I saw it. I'm like, all right, that was fun. Honestly, I did like Ant-Man Quantumania so much more with its flaws. I mean, MODOK was horrible, but I kind of liked all those weird little. At least I was engaged in that movie.
God.
And I did see it, I think, in 3D, so that extra dimension to that world was cool. So at least it was interesting. This one was just kind of like by the numbers, and clearly the script was all over the place. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How about for you, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, my expectations were really low on it, and it was better than I thought it would be. Honestly, but it's not a movie I'd really want to watch again. It's not a movie. I don't think I'd ever want to watch this movie again, but I didn't hate it though. It's just not enough Red Hulk in the movie. Like I was expecting the movie to be him through most of the movie, and you barely get anything from him. But I'm a huge, obviously, Harrison Ford fan, so anytime I can see Harrison Ford and at 82 years old still being relevant, and he doesn't look his age. He doesn't act like somebody that's that age. He's kept himself in pretty good shape over the years. So just from that standpoint, I if it didn't have Harrison Ford in it, it probably would have ruined the movie a little bit more for me. But like I said, I don't dislike Anthony Mackie overall. I like the Falcon character, but I think I wish we could have the real Captain America. I think in Thunderbolts, Wyatt Russell, he was in the TV show. He was Captain America briefly in the TV show. He was a soldier that was given the serum, and
he's called like U.S. agent.
Yeah, he's a U.S. agent.
Yeah.
I think he has like a shield that he carries in Thunderbolts. You can see in Thunderbolts. I look forward to that movie more than in Fantastic Four. More than I think those movies are easily going to be better than this one. It's like the bar's set so low that I'm definitely going to like those movies more. I can feel it already that those movies are more promising based on the trailers that I've seen for those movies. The Thunderbolts characters, obviously with Bucky and that the Winter Soldier in that cast and Florence Pugh and David Harbour. I mean, it looks like it's going to be so much more fun. Like it's going to be a fun movie, I think. And I don't know why they call it Thunderbolts. Is that I don't know if that has anything to do with Thaddeus Ross or it's just
I just think that's the name of the team in the comics.
Yeah,
it's like the fake Suicide Squad, pretty much. I got a question though for you guys. Do you guys remember? I have two questions. One, real quick. One, do you remember? Because Huck, you mentioned the post-credit scene. Do you guys remember the good old days when they used to just set up the very next movie that you were going to see in this? And you're like, okay, this should have been a Thunderbolt. It should have been something for Bucky. It should have been.
Bucky was in the movie.
He was in the movie, but you're not even like. Look at him in the Thunderbolt trailer and look at him in this. It's like, how does he get from that to that? They could have done something there, but you guys remember the good old days when they like the credit scenes were cool, and also. One of you guys mentioned earlier, it might have been Mike. Imagine if they did not show any marketing for Red Hulk. And then the scene plays out the same way. He starts freaking out. People in the theater are like, what is going on? Why are his eyes turning red? Why is he this? They blew it by showing it and selling a Red Hulk popcorn bucket and Funko Pop and cup. And then now you're expecting it. And then you get barely any, whereas it could have been a cute little surprise at the end of the movie. But I just feel like they failed in the marketing. So the question was like, don't you think it would have been better to literally not show anything at all? Red Hulk, not even a tease, not a fingernail, nothing.
Well, that's what drew people in though, and Harrison Ford playing that character. I think they had to use it for marketing, but they underused him so much. And based on the Thaddeus Ross being the president and everything, it's like they couldn't do that have him be the president and have Red Hulk pop up here or there throughout the movie.
Why didn't they show the leader? Because the leader's not in any of the trailers, and he's the main villain. Right. But you have Red Hulk who's in it for 3 minutes, and he's in every trailer a lot. So like, why would you hide the one villain and then show the one that's not really in it?
Gives a crap about the leader, and people
are like, who is that?
I don't even know who he is.
Like, hey, a Red Hulk. Look, the Red Hulk.
Money on this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure of it. I got to thinking though, since you're doing what ifs. So if you back up to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was a pretty solid show, we really needed, because that had Baron Zemo. Why didn't we get like a Zemo Sharon Carter return, bringing Emily Van Camp back as Sharon? Oh my God, that
would have been better.
I would have been so into that. And you could still bring in some red hokey, it's fine, whatever. But man, because Zemo, we actually got Mike. You're saying like that classic Zemo helmet. I miss that too. I love that weird, hat that he has, purple with the stripes. That's a terrible looking thing for real life, but I love the look of it in the comics. So to see like Zemo in that costume with Sharon Carter as the backbone of this movie, I think I would have been really excited for that.
Yeah. You're on to something there, Huck.
Better
Make Falcon and the Winter Soldier show a 2-hour movie with the $400 million budget apparently we had to spend. Like, that would have been a really cool movie. They wasted it.
And this somehow still felt like a Disney Plus show extended into a
that's right.
It didn't feel like that show, but it felt like a show.
Yeah, it's too blurred now. Like with the streaming shows and movies, it's tough for people to tell the difference now. And that's the problem. Should have never done
watching
streaming
them.
shows. Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on in any of them. I'm movies only.
Yeah,
If they
I don't really
introduce
like.
somebody, I'll
I don't
Google
even
it.
have Disney Plus right now. So, yeah.
So what was still surprising is this actually made 100 million opening weekend. And I think we said that's all because of the Red Hulk. Now the question here, right? I think that's right when I looked it
180,
up.
and it made 180 worldwide.
Yeah.
So-
Not bad. It could have been a lot worse. The question is, how much is this going to drop next weekend? I think it's going to be like a 70% drop, like 30 million next weekend.
Well, it doesn't have any big competition for the,
The
next couple
monkey,
weeks.
I know it's
Monkey,
not going to
the
really
horror
take
fans.
much,
But still, even at a 180 budget, which is a fake budget from what like I said, that's what I've heard. It has to make like 450 to break even. So, like, I don't know if that's going to happen. I could see this being in the. I mean, 180 is not. I mean, 100 domestic. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it's not ideal. I'd be surprised if it makes back. I'd be a little surprised if it makes profit, personally. But it does have a little bit of a runway before like any major releases come in that'll like tentpole type movies. I mean, so I have no idea. It's weird. It's a weird number, like 100 million. I don't know what to do with that.
What do you think, Huck?
Well, I mean, obviously that was the 4-day weekend. Here, I'll even give it a lookie. Yeah, so I think that's its thing for the 4-day. It was like 87.
President's Day.
Yeah. So it was 87 for the 3 days, but it's okay. Like I always want success. Whatever we think of this, these guys work their asses off to put something good together. I always want to see. I just hope it breaks even in terms of profit, no matter what we think of it and walk away. I hate even like Marvels. I wanted that to be a hit, because I don't like seeing people put their blood, sweat, and tears into a failure. With that said, 60 or more, because when you get up to 100, you're always guaranteed a very large drop because you can't sustain that. So, I mean, if it's in the 70s, Michael, like you're saying, then it's going to just keep dropping like a rock. But if we can get between that 55 and 65, that means it'll stick around for a little bit. Like you said, you only got the monkey as competition. So that bodes well for it for at least a few more weeks. But yeah.
And Paddington's.
Oh man, that movie was awesome.
Well, and like I think the week after, there's also like nothing particularly good. I'm just looking at like the Regal app to see what's even coming out on the 28th.
There's a lot of Oscar movies being replayed.
Brothers After War, Last Breath with Woody Harrelson, my dead friend Zoe. Like, there's not much that will stand in its way. It's got a couple of weeks. It's got a couple of weeks to make its money, and then we'll just have to see if it does.
Yeah. I saw Becoming Led Zeppelin yesterday. I'm not gonna see this movie again. There aren't too many Marvel movies that I'll see twice, other than Deadpool, Wolverine. I saw 4 or 5 times in the theater and own them in 4K. It's like Disney can't even bail themselves out with physical media anymore because they throw all these movies on their Disney Plus. So, and then it's been a while. Other than Spider-Man: No Way Home and Deadpool, Wolverine, I don't really catch a lot of these movies. They're usually one and done for me, especially the Sony Marvel movies. I usually just see those one time. The Venom movies, I've seen them all like one time each. Madam Web and Craven the Hunter and.
Whoa! We'll have
one time, buddy.
No
you get me in the theater one time with my.
You guys have your own Craven show.
Yeah, it's not often that I see Marvel movies more than once. It's just that there's usually not interesting enough to check them out again. And like I said, I don't have Disney Plus right now, so I wouldn't check it out on Disney Plus either. Like
you gotta wait for the $70 4K steelbook. That's where
gotta have it. All my Marvel movies right there.
I'll keep it.
All right, so perfect segue to: would we want to see this franchise continue? I'll start off. No, end it now. I would personally end all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm tired of Cinematic Universe movies. Let's just go back to solo movies and go back to the characters people actually care about. I'm tired of all the side characters getting together, and then they're trying to set up like young Avengers, and there's all these young kid characters running around. I'm like, who wants to see that? Like, nobody wants to see that. Like, go back to the classic Avengers. Just do that. And you don't have to release a ton of movies a year. Like, 1, maybe 2 movies a year if it's like time for an Avengers movie. That's all you need to do. We don't need 3, 4 Marvel movies in a year, 5 things on Disney Plus that we miss and nobody cares about. It's too much right now. We need a hard restart at this point for me. How about you, Nate? What do you think?
I agree with you 100%. I kid you not. I told my brother we were on a little road trip up to Indianapolis to watch Royal Rumble a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
And on the drive, we had a lot of time. So I was like, you know what they should do? They need to stop. We started talking about the Marvel, the MCU. And I kid you not, I said the same thing. Like, I'm 100% okay with them hitting that eject button. Stop it. Do not. I mean, they clearly can't because they have all these things lined up and paid for and pre-production and whatever. I would be okay with after whatever that last Avengers movie is, right? The Doom one, let's just say.
Doomsday, yeah.
Stop
Secret
it.
Wars, right?
No, Secret Wars is first, and then Doomsday is second.
Is it? I thought it was.
No, it's the other way around.
2026.
It's the other way around?
Yeah.
I thought it was. Okay.
Doomsday.
Because Doom has to be part of Secret Wars.
Got it. Okay. Secret
And
Wars.
we don't even know. We can't even keep it straight
Right,
out
yeah.
there.
I used to know all of it in order. Now I don't know.
Because you used to care, Nate. You used to care. You don't
I used
anymore.
to care. There used to not be 1,000 shows that I had to keep track of. Okay. Secret Wars. After that one, stop it. Reboot the MCU.
Stop it.
Start it with the X-Men. And then, look, the X-Men was a proven property anyway for Fox. Like, those movies were varying degrees of quality, but mostly good. So start there. And like you said, Mike, 1 a year. Maybe 2 if you're feeling, like we'll put one in March and we'll put one in November, something like that. Far apart, because I'm tired of it. And they killed off all the main people. And then the ones that they didn't kill, they have to now figure out how to bring them back to life. Yeah. Oh, there's other dimensions and there's other universes, which don't get me started because it doesn't even – the multiverse in the MCU doesn't even make sense because they're making a Fantastic Four movie and it's Pedro Pascal, but in the other one it was John Krasinski. But in Doctor Strange, every single Doctor Strange looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. But in Spider-Man, they're all different. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. Right. So I'm through with it. I'm confused and I don't know what's going on. I keep seeing these because I love movies and I'm going to see them, but I wish they would stop.
Yeah.
I hope that answered the question. I don't even know what the question was, but they should stop.
Yeah, should the franchise continue? But yeah, I would just want to go back to solo movies, do just a trilogy. We don't need a million superheroes in one movie because then it just makes all the superheroes less special. There's just too many of them, too many superheroes at once. Huck,
I'm
what do you
legitimately
think?
excited for Fantastic Four because it looks different.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just them. Even if at the very end there's a post-credit, I'm okay with that. But like, as long as the movie is just them, and I saw this in IMAX, and the little countdown was a Fantastic Four like themed, and it got me hyped. I was like, I wish Fantastic Four was about to play instead of Captain America. So that was really cool, and I'm hoping it's good. But I'm excited, Mike, because of that. Like Thunderbolts, I've seen all those characters. I've seen them all. None of them are even main characters in any of their own movies.
But they have
them are villains.
What's funny though?
Oh, they got new costumes.
Got a new costume.
I don't even know who the villain is in that movie. Like they won't reveal it. It's like a secret now all the time. I don't even know.
I think isn't it Sentry? I think.
I don't know. I feel like it's that guy in the trailer that says his name is Bob or whatever. Yeah. I think it's him. It's gotta be him. They don't show him in any other parts except when he's like, I'm Bob. He gotta be the bad guy.
Right? Gotta be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Huck, what do you think of all this?
I'm with you guys. What this film does is I think it really just shows you how good the original 6 are. And we're missing 3 already. No Downey. Steve Rogers is too old. You killed Black Widow. And that just leaves you with Thor is on another. I mean, you know what I mean? So you created this thing of beauty and you tore it apart. And unless you did, and I hate the crutch of time travel and multiverse. So if you're going to bring them back, you're going to have to use those crutches to bring them back just so we can have them, in which case we're going to have to either swallow that pill and go, yay, at least you brought them back, or we're just going to be like, so now deaths aren't meaningful anymore because Robert Downey and Black Widow they sacrifice themselves for the greater good. So yeah, I mean this is a good one and done. I don't need to see another one. I mean they barely even knew what to do with it, so why should I be excited to see another one?
You're right. And you know who they need to kill in these movies? The Falcons, the what's his name, War Machine, Rhodey. The you kill the sidekicks and the side characters to make the main hero affect them. You don't kill the main hero, and then what? I'm stuck with Falcon as Captain America.
Right, like, who did they kill in the first Avengers to get them rallied together?
Oh, Coulson.
Phil Coulson.
Exactly. You killed Coulson.
He wasn't even dead.
Nick Fury.
More side character than Coulson, and it was perfect. It got
and look what it did. They said we got to do it for Phil. Exactly.
They killed too many characters in Endgame. That's what it was. 3
Gamora.
main
now we got
Avengers.
fake Gamora who doesn't know what's going on.
Like, too many.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It would have been okay with one. Like one would have been enough in Endgame. They didn't need to have more die.
Yeah. That's only because Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. wanted to leave.
And now they're both coming back.
But I mean,
Chris Evans is coming back too, I heard.
He says
he
I don't know. He says he's not, but he probably will.
He
came back for this one.
No, we don't want him.
Well, I loved it in Deadpool Wolverine, his appearance in that. Like
as Johnny Storm.
Oh, that was great.
That was a great reveal. And I really liked the Doctor Strange too. I mean, I liked what they did with that. I mean, with Sam Raimi taking over, and it's more like horror movie. And without the multiverse, I mean, we wouldn't have with Spider-Man No Way Home bringing back the 3 Spider-Man characters and from different dimensions. From that
was it worth it, Steve? Because it's created more problems than anything. It's now Patrick Stewart's in Doctor Strange 2. Guess what? I'm a bet $1 million not going to be in whatever X-Men stuff that they do. So why like
was he
he's too old now. You got to do all new cast. It's time
doing
to move
fan
on.
service can work, but they've done it to their detriment. I think in storytelling. That now it's like it doesn't even, like Huck said, it's a crutch. You just put anybody in anything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's irrelevant because there's just another version of them, and maybe it looks like the same actor, and maybe it looks like someone else. It doesn't matter. It could be either one. Who knows?
Whatever we feel like.
Yeah, whatever we feel.
That's what
somehow he's come back.
Class. Yeah, they had like they said Kelsey Grammer is supposed to come back as a beast.
He did the voice in the Marvels. That was him.
Yeah, and Nicholas Hoult. I think Nicholas Hoult is great in that character, and as that character.
Someone else now. There's gonna be a third Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get cheaper. You got to get cheaper actors now to start over. Like that's what you do. It's like start at the bottom, and then so you can save money, get good actors, and then do exactly what you did with the first X-Men. Cast it well. Don't get big names unless you need one anchor, and then.
I just read somewhere they're looking at for Rogue. I forgot. It was like a good actress that I like. And now I just opened my mouth and I'm not going to remember it. But I was like, at least that's interesting. She's not been in any other like superhero movies. I don't remember who it is, but I would like to see her as Rogue, whoever that was in that article that I saw.
Yeah, the superhero movies should make that actor much more popular, right? Kind of like how the James Bond movies would always make that person a star. Yes, I'm right there with you guys.
But so we have the Russo brothers are back for Doomsday and Secret Wars, so that could be a possibility with what they did with Infinity War and Endgame. I mean, they were
Margaret Qualley. That's who they're looking at for Rogue. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, she's famous, but not like too famous, and she's a good actress, and that's an interesting casting that I like instead of the same old that they get. So,
like bring in a Sophie Thatcher, right? Like bring her in.
Right. Bring her in.
Mm-hmm. Is she the one from
Mia Goth? Bring in Mia Goth.
She's from
Companion.
For
Companion.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was good. That's been my favorite movie of the year so far.
Me too. I'm right there with you. That was so good.
It was awesome. We should have done that movie. Why didn't they?
I know.
What a hard eye.
I don't know.
That's the movie I walked out of and felt great. Like I couldn't wait to like do a review and say how good it was. And this one I was like, all right, let me.
We would have sounded so much happier if that's what the people voted for.
All right. Well, before we talk about the future movies coming out and we talk about the next poll, we got to do our big group ranking reveal.
Ooh.
So our group
I know what's fourth.
I know, right?
Yep.
So with
Pull the Band-Aid off. Let's go.
a whopping 4 points, we got Brave New Boring. 4
Brave New Boring.
points right there.
A boring new world.
Third
Yeah.
place, first origin story we cared about with the first Avenger. Third place right there. That's pretty good.
That's
for a
good.
first one.
But it's like a big gap between that one and this one.
It is
That's good.
4 to
To
9
9.
points.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
about what I expected.
I like that.
And then second place, what is it going to be?
Civil War?
I don't know. They were both pretty.
Civil
we
War. I'm gonna
Seem
say
to love them
Civil
both.
War.
I'm
I
hoping
think
it's Civil War.
It sounded
Unless
to
they
me
got-
like we all pushed it down a notch because it wasn't a Captain America movie. So I think it's number 2.
Well, you guys
Come on,
are
Mike.
exactly right. Avengers 2.
Oh.
Hey, all right.
13 points.
Wow.
Winter Soldier is certified the best.
Yes, when Marvel sequels were good. 14 points.
It only won by 1
Did
point,
you-
but
did
it
you
was
run out of
well
room for letters.
Yes, I did, Huck. Okay, I worked with what I could.
when
I
you were
tried to be
good.
clever and funny. It just happens that way
It's a
sometimes.
page,
That's why we had to go back to
Oh, dude, I
texting.
know.
You know?
Just giving you an
I'm
idea.
very happy that one finished first because it's it's in probably my top 3 favorite MCU movies. Period. So I was hoping everyone else loved it as much as me. It's so good. It's the best.
That's good. That's solid.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about some future movies we're excited for. So I was looking at March and April. To me, I didn't really notice too much in April, so maybe we skipped that month. Unless you guys found something in April. The only thing I saw in April was Sinners that I'm pretty excited
looks cool.
for. Yeah, and I heard that that's supposed to be a franchise, actually, if that movie
I
does
do
well.
like Ryan Coogler.
Mhm.
You also have The Accountant 2 with Ben Affleck at the end of
Mickey
April.
17. Mickey 17 in
Mickey
March.
17, yeah.
That's cool.
March is kind of rough. March is worse than April. It's
Queen of the Ring. I don't know what it's about.
I haven't
but
even
it
seen
looks
it.
to be a boxing
Oh.
movie.
we have that
You got
new
the-
Paul W.S. Anderson movie with Mila Jovovich and Dave Bautista. Looks
Wow.
horrible.
What?
Let me bring it up. I thought
Dave
there
Bautista's
was
pretty
more and
skinny
more.
now. We've seen him recently.
You have Novocaine
We have
with
to-
Jack
Oh,
Quaid.
no,
Okay, looks good.
That
Looks like
looks
Kick-Ass.
good. You got the new Jurassic World with Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, that's
And
July, I think.
You're thinking way
Oh,
too
wow.
far ahead, huh?
Well, you said upcoming. I didn't know what our window was. You got to
Yeah.
Snow White.
It says
Snow
in the
White comes out in
question bit
March.
right there, March and April, right there.
Snow White.
What? Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
Snow White
want
was
to see you guys
canceled.
until
No,
July.
no.
I didn't read.
Oh, Working Man. I'm actually excited for that with Jason Statham. But I just love Jason Statham. So
Oh, me too. I like who
Looks
did
like The
love
Beekeeper.
Beekeeper. Beekeeper was the best action movie last year.
it was awesome. It was
Hands
awesome.
down. I've seen it
We're
twice already.
forgetting a big Disney movie, Snow
Snow
White.
White.
I know you guys are
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yes.
I thought Snow White was canceled, and then it was just apparently it was just postponed because of the
Uncanceled.
strike.
Like this movie was. They reshot it and added
Right.
CGI dwarves.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? A movie I am interested in is Death of a Unicorn, that A24 film.
You're right.
You guys see the trailer for
With
that?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
interesting.
Jenna Ortega. Yeah.
March and April is kind of like, as far as like
Re-release
this
of Rad.
show, there's no like tentpole kind of big Minecraft movie. Sinners, I would say those are like, as far as like, I mean, I'm not looking forward to Minecraft, but that's like one of the most popular games that there is. You know,
Yeah.
so
So
Other than
what
that, it's
goes
a lot
on
of
the
fun.
voting poll here? We got Sinners for sure.
I think Sinners belongs.
Okay.
I think
No
I,
White, I think belongs on there, but I
it
don't
could
know.
be like this show right now.
Yes. Well, we were like, oh my god.
But I agree. I think that you should, even if it looks bad. It's something that people will talk about, and so I
Yeah.
think it should go on there. Then we should
Mickey
put one that might be
17?
underrated: Mickey 17 or The Death of a Unicorn. They're kind of in the same boat.
I want to get Novocaine on there.
Novocaine. Okay.
I think Jack Quaid was so good in Companion. I think he's
Yeah.
going to keep riding that high. That's what I want to go see because I love Quaid.
There we go. So
I would vote Mickey 17 as the other one
Yeah.
because I
All
like
right.
Bong Joon-ho. He won an Oscar. He's a big director now.
yeah,
I think that would be a good one.
perfect. So we
Mark.
got Sinners, Snow White, Novocaine, and Mickey 17.
Whoever's watching this, please
They're gonna be
vote
all
for Snow White.
Yeah,
No,
I don't care.
Nobody's gonna
I
win.
did not throw it in the ring, so if it wins, I had nothing to do with it.
I will watch that, but I don't want to have to come here and be so angry again. I want to talk about something that was great.
That Fonzie
Yeah,
movie.
I almost popped a blood vessel. I can't do this again.
I did. I was upset. I want to talk about something great. So pick one of the other ones.
Yeah.
But it should be on there. People should have their say.
All right. Well, I guess we could call it a post-game show after that one, but let's go around if you guys have anything going on. Huck, what do you got going on?
Just join me tomorrow morning at the Morning Mug, 8 a.m. LA time, 8, 9 to 11 o'clock East Coast, where we just talk about, some of the stuff that we just talked over today, box office, new releases, and some Hollywood news. Other than that, I got some customizations, customizing videos that I've been dropping every Friday. And, of course, movie reviews every time I come out of the theater, and the 52-week movie challenge. So everybody taking that challenge with us. Come on, keep it going. Let's go.
Yes.
How about you, Nate?
All right. Just want to say I love doing these streams. This is probably my favorite stream to do that's not like on my channel. I love talking about these movies with you guys. It's a ton of fun. So, Mike, thanks for inviting me in the first place. This week, we just dropped top 5 movies from 2000. I'm doing top 5 from every year I'm alive. Year 2000 came out today. Later this week, I'm beginning a new series where I'm watching all my Blu-rays and 4Ks that I've never seen. Now, I don't just mean the disc. I mean, I've never seen these movies, period. They're all blind buys. I have like hundreds. And the first one is going to be Double Jeopardy.
Ooh,
I've
that
never
one's
seen
so
Double
good.
Jeopardy.
Oh, you're
So
gonna
I
love
watched
it.
it. No, I already watched it. And I have a review coming out this week. And then next Sunday, we are live. We will be ranking the Harry Potter franchise, 1 through 8, all the movies, 8 p.m. this coming Sunday. And that's what we got coming up.
Nice.
Noise.
Steve, how about you?
So I've got like a haul video coming up on Friday. And on Instagram, I asked people, I put on there regarding pretentious movies. And some people kind of dialed in a little bit. What do you consider to be a pretentious movie? Because a lot of people will kind of rate the movies that they don't understand or that they don't connect with. They'll say it's pretentious, and so it's interesting how people kind of rate that and what movies they think are pretentious. It all depends on who you ask. How artsy it is, or if the story actually has a clear storyline, that kind of thing. But you can find me on Instagram and Letterboxd under Excelsior Movie Reviews, and also on YouTube under the same title. So yeah, this is fun. Like we all kind of bring different things to the table, different points. It's kind of interesting to kind of get people's thoughts. And we all had this movie Brave New World last, which wasn't surprising at all.
We were all right. That's all.
Bar was set so high with those movies, and this movie, there's no way it could compete with those.
And then for me, I did drop some Amazon deals today. So if you think physical media collecting is getting expensive, well, think again. You got to check out my deal video. A lot of good Blu-rays out there, really good prices, some of them under $10. So definitely check that out if you want to save some money on your collecting journey. But then, yeah, just have a good time watching and talking the movies out there. And I will still recommend watching Paddington in Peru over Captain America Brave New World.
I'm going to see it this week.
My opinion.
I'm going to see it on Friday, actually. I'm looking forward to it.
But have a great night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.